Are you struggling to pinpoint exactly where your keyword performance is falling short? Is your market share dropping for some of your products and you don't understand which are the keywords that influence this negative trend? Do you want to know which keywords have the highest impact on the performance of your products? Maybe are you looking for an easy and transparent way of comparing traffic and sales across multiple variations and time periods? I'm Joel from Seller Centric, and in this video I'm going to share with you a simple template I created for analyzing the SQP reports. This template makes it easy to compare keyword performance across multiple periods and variations, identify trends, and understand where your marketing strategies are making an impact or where they need a boost. With the help of this simple Google Sheet file, you will be able to make data-driven decisions when it comes to listing optimization and PPC budget allocation. And don't worry, you do not need to be a Google Sheets guru in order to use it. In the video, I will walk you through 3 simple steps to set everything up. So let's first take a look at how the template looks like, and after that I will show you how you can use it. Before I start presenting the template itself, I want to briefly cover why I created it, basically what problem I want to solve with it. I'm sure you have also encountered cases when one or more of your products were performing great during a certain period of time, then the performance suddenly dropped and you did not understand why. You did not have inventory issues, there were no changes on the listing, everything was just the same, but the sales dropped. The first report I always check in these cases is the SQP report, as it provides the most relevant traffic data directly coming from Amazon. I take the period when the product was performing well and compare it with the period when it was performing poorly. But in order to be able to draw a clear conclusion, you need to have this data in one place so you can clearly see the trends. On the other hand, the SQP report contains a lot of data that is not necessarily helpful in this analysis. To solve both of these issues, I created this sheet. With the help of this template, you can see only the most important metrics and data that can influence the performance behavior, focusing on your best keywords and bringing it all into one place for multiple variations for better visibility. So let's take a look at this report with some real data. In this specific case I present now, I analyzed 3 variations for 2 time periods. The first quarter of 2023 versus the first quarter of 2024. As you can see, the first column is the search term column. So these are basically the search terms that have the highest impact on the performance of your product, and they are bringing the majority of the sales. This data is filtered out automatically from the SQP report, so you do not have to do anything. You just need to set certain conditions. In my case, I wanted to include all the search terms that brought at least 2 conversions and had at least a search volume of 500 during one of the analyzed periods. In the next columns, we can see the keyword level data like search volume, number of total clicks and purchases this keyword generated. Based on this keyword level data, you can get great insights on the shopping behavior of your target audience. So let's check the second part of the template, where you can see the variation-specific keyword level numbers. For the sake of simplicity in this template, I wanted only to include the most important metrics from the SQP report that can influence or influenced the performance drop behind any variation. In my opinion, this is the first one can be the traffic and the second one is the conversion rate. And based on these 2 numbers, you can clearly see what happened with your variation for that specific term, or which are those search terms where your basically traffic or performance conversion rate dropped. So just by taking a look at the numbers or taking a look at only the colors, you will see where you see red, that means that your performance for the specific metric for that specific variation and term dropped. Let's take a look at the first search term in this case. You will see that for the first variation, the number of clicks went from 125 to 0. Basically, the traffic disappeared. Of course, the number of purchases disappeared as well. But if we take another look and go to the variation 2, you will see that in case of this one, the traffic almost doubled, and also the number of purchases more than doubled. So what happened here? Basically, the traffic from the first variation went to the second variation. And this can have several reasons behind. One of them can be a sponsor rank, so basically PPC. Maybe you are pushing the first variation in 2023, and now in 2024, you are pushing the second variation, or organic ranking. So these are the two most important traffic sources on Amazon. The first is a sponsored traffic, and the second one is the organic traffic. So you need to further analyze on and take a look what happened with this specific search term in terms of sponsored and in terms of organic. And based on that, you can find the reason behind. But I may create another video on how you can check these specific things, what you should check, how you can compare yourself with the top competitors in keyword level, conversion rate, and so on. So I think you understand the reason behind creating this part of the template is just for easily pinpointing problems and easily finding where these problems are, or are these problems at all, or it's just, in this, as I mentioned, the traffic is shifting between the variations. So let's take a look at the third, and in my opinion, most important part of the template, which is also the last part of the template. I called it parent level. It's not 100% accurate to say parent level because it's basically the summary of the variations you analyzed here. So in my case, I had 6 variations, but I only analyzed the 3 hero variations. So this is basically the summary of those 3. What you can see here is the number of clicks. I added 2 more columns with the purchase share. The click share first. And the difference. This difference means this is the difference in number of clicks between the second and the first period. If this is a negative, then it means that it was a drop in terms of clicks in the second period. And it's basically, you can see the same numbers in terms of purchases. Why I think it's important to add the click share as well, not only the number of clicks, is the first case explains it clearly. So you can see that the number of total clicks dropped by 32 in the second period, so in 2024, but the click share of the parent improved, which means that we improved overall against our competition. We are getting more clicks than we were getting in 2023 from the total. But even like this, the number of clicks dropped. The reason behind this is because the overall number of clicks on this keyword level dropped. So the problem is not with the PPC, the problem is not with organic, the problem is with the overall demand coming from this keyword. So if you take a look at these numbers and these things, you can understand more about the shopping behavior, more about the overall performance of your product, not just taking a look at the ASIN-level performance. That is not enough, in my opinion. And my goal with this template was to easily find and pinpoint those keywords or those variations where the problem is coming from. So if you see a problem on parent level, you can go back and check, okay, is this a problem because I'm performing poorly with any of my variations? Is it a problem because the overall demand is dropping? Or I can further analyze what's happening. But this is just the first step of understanding what is the root cause of the issue. So I hope that this kind of analysis will help you as well. You can easily use this template, and now we can take a look at how you can use it. And I show you these three simple steps that you need to perform in order to have these numbers for your products. The first thing you need to do in order to use this template is you need to generate your ASIN-level SQP reports. So let's use a clear example here so you can understand it. For example, you have 6 variations under a parent, under a garlic press parent, and 3 of them are bringing the majority of your sales. So you want to analyze the performance of these 3 variations for January versus February. In this case, you need to generate and download 6 different SQP reports. 3 for January for the 3 ASINs, and for the same 3 ASINs for February. How you can do that? So when you log into your Seller Central account, you need to go to the menu and you will find here the Brands tab and Brand Analytics. Here you will see Search Analytics, Search Query Performance. You go there. From here you go ASIN view. You just paste your ASIN here, the first ASIN you want to analyze, and you choose the reporting range, which is monthly 2024 January. Apply. Your data will show up here, but you need to generate download, and again generate download, and a CSV file will be generated in a few seconds, maybe a minute. You need to download that, and you need to do the same thing for all of your ASINs and all of these periods. So you will have 2 more for January and 3 more for February. I recommend you, after downloading these SQP reports, to name them properly. I would suggest you using the variation name and the period in the title. So for example, blue garlic press 2024 January, red garlic press 2024 January, blue garlic press 2024 February, and so on. It will be way more easy to import these reports and to understand where to import them on the sheet if you name them properly. So I recommend you doing it. Once you have downloaded all of your SQP reports and you rename them properly, you need to go to the link I will share with you and need to make a copy of this template. It will soon generate an empty template for you, and you can see that it has several tabs. The one called Master Sheet is the main tab. So this is where all the data will show up. This is where all the filtered data will show up. And all the other tabs are just basically for the SQP reports. This is where you will upload all of your SQP reports one by one. As you can see here, the first one is period 1, variation 1. And I named them in a proper way in order so you can understand which report goes to which tab. So let's take a look at how you can import these SQP reports. You need to go to the first period, first variation, and choose import and upload. You will browse for the first file. In my case, here will be blue garlic press Q1 2023. And I open it. And it's very important when you arrive to this step, you need to change this create new spreadsheet to replace current sheet and hit import data. Okay, you will see that all the data will be populated here in this tab, and you need to do exactly the same thing for all of the other reports. Once you imported all of your SQP reports, the data will be ready to be analyzed. But before finishing this video, I would like to highlight 3 important things. The first thing I would like to mention is regarding the conditions based on which the search terms are pulled in. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I set 2 conditions. The first one refers to the number of purchases. There must be at least 2 conversions for any of the analyzed ASINs with the term, unless it will not show up here. The second condition is regarding the search volume. It must have at least 500 in any of the analyzed periods. You can change these terms, these conditions, by clicking here in the third row. This formula is responsible for that. And as you can see here is the number 2. This refers to the conversions, and this number 500 refers to the search volume. So you can adjust these numbers based on your needs. The second thing I would like to mention is regarding the search volume data. If you see 0 for any of the terms for a certain period, like in case of this term, this doesn't mean that this search term had no searches during that time. It just means that it's not showing up in your SQP report. So it's not in the top 100 positions for any of your analyzed ASINs based on the search query score. In these cases, I usually use a keyword tool like Helium 10 and add this data manually. The last thing I would like to mention is that if you see any numbers that do not seem to be correct or logical, such as this purchase data here, the search term has good search volume and gets a high number of clicks, but the purchases shows 0. In this case, the VLOOKUP formula did not bring in the data correctly, so it needs to be updated in the following way. You need to go to that column's first number, and you just need to pull down the formula again, like this. And you can see now the number of purchases are updated. And you need to repeat this action in case of all of those columns where you see this kind of issue. And the numbers will get updated and you will get the correct numbers. This is all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you want to use this template, you can find a link to it in the description. In case of any comments, recommendations, or questions, you can contact me on LinkedIn, or you can leave a comment here on YouTube as well. For more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for your time and see you soon.